If you miss Wednesday nights, the 110 Nation Sports Show, you missed Mario and myself talking about whether or not the Boston Celtics will have a new head coach come next season.
And when they were down 3-0, I would have said without a doubt that there should be a new head coach. I'd be shocked if he was not relieved of his duties in this offseason. But after watching them come back to a 3-3 series, I'm not going to say that I wouldn't be surprised, but I'm less confident that it's a for sure deal. Like I said in last week's show, there's a lot of things that – I'm not going to say a lot of things. There are some things that there's a lot of things that I don't agree with that people got pissed off about. The timeouts, like I said in last week's show, it's easy to play Monday morning quarterback. Well, woulda, shoulda, coulda. Yes, well, if we would have called timeouts, then the momentum would have changed, or we could have called a play, or I don't think it changes anything. One, there's no guarantee you calling a timeout is going to change the momentum. And just because you call a play, yes, statistically you have a better chance of scoring, but doesn't mean you're going to score. Doesn't mean that the momentum's going to change. All it means is your player's got to sit on the sideline for 30 seconds while you wrote up a play, and that's really the only thing that's guaranteed with the calling timeout. When it came to that last play of the game, that Marcus Smart didn't end up getting the shot up a half a second earlier, because if he would have got it up a half second earlier, we wouldn't be having this conversation, because Boston would have won the series, and also there would have been a question whether or not there should have been a timeout, a play called, even though the players and the coach all said that was a play that was going to be wrote up anyway. They just didn't call a timeout. They just happened to already know what the play was going to be, and it was more of just lack of execution versus not calling a timeout. I think the only part that I didn't agree with, that I really still have an ill feeling, and I think this may be a big factor into whether or not he has a job next year, is that fourth quarter. Important when it comes to career-wise, fourth quarter when none of your starters even tried. That none of your starters went out there and played. And I'm still very big on this. You should have at least tried halfway through that period. If you didn't chip down the deficit, then yes, go ahead and sit the rest of it out, rest, get ready for the next game. But it is nothing for a team to go on an 18-0 run, a 22-0 run, a 16-2 run, whatever the case may be in the NBA. And you were down, I understand you were down by like 30 points, but you didn't even put an effort to try to get a run with your starting players at home, with your crowd behind you. I have a big issue with the coach not forcing the players to get out there, that everybody just gave up. That is a big deal to me. Outside of that, you can question things, but I'm sorry, unless you're in the heat of the moment, in those predicaments, and you make those decisions, you're really only second-guessing, because you get the privilege of seeing the end result and assume that if you would have made a different choice, the end result would have been different, because you saw what the end result was from the decision of what the head coach made. And we all can do that, and I'm not a fan of that, because that's really not fair, especially the head coach, because anybody can second guess on anybody after it's already happened. But do you think the head coach is going to be there in Boston next year?
I think he stays just because of the contract he signed, mid-season. I don't really see Boston just giving a contract out there and, giving it away after, making to the Eastern Conference Finals, I think they'll probably give him another run. But I think he still has some growing up to do as far as, coaching, when to play players. As far as the timeouts, sometimes, the timeouts make possession instead of having one possession, you can have two. Just little different things he needs to, work on. Even with the rotation coming in to the Eastern Conference Finals, he changed his lineup, 2 times. You understand what I'm saying? Without nobody being injured, we already made it to the Eastern Conference Finals, and now we're changing lineups. You understand what I'm saying? So obviously that has a factor. That leans with coaching and filling your team out. But do they want to play with him? Play for the coach? Maybe that we haven't really heard from the players in general as far as how they felt about the coach. We hear a lot about. You're
exactly.
We haven't heard. Yeah, we haven't really heard anything come out saying, this is the coach that we want to play for. You understand what I'm saying? Just because of how he was thrown into the situation. So we don't really know how the team really feels. Their game plan was shooting threes all the time. So he has some maturing to do, but I think he stays.
I agree, and I never thought about that. And you brought up an interesting fact that none of the players have gone to bat or said that they don't want to play either way. Like, everybody's been quiet. I think that is also a very important factor into whether or not he continues coaching for this team or not, is whether or not the players want to play for him, or whether or not they want to move on. They don't feel that's a good fit. So I definitely agree. I want to say that he's not going to be there, but I don't see anything that really shows me why he shouldn't have another season, a full season, an opportunity. He got an opportunity to learn some things. Maybe he takes what he learned in this season and carries it on to the next season. I just don't, other than that fourth quarter, which that just really sits bad in my mouth. Outside of that, I don't think there was anything that he did or called or didn't call that is the reason why they didn't make it to the finals.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit, and the coffee ain't hit yet, damn, ain't that great. I don't wanna go to work, cause my boss is a jerk, and I'm not even that paid. I need a change in my life, cause I don't feel